Hello. Welcome back to another video. Yes, that's right. I am finally back on the tube after a 3 week, maybe 4 week absence. I was away getting married, as many of you know, and it all went well. I'll talk about that in a second though. So I'm back into the swing of things, back at work. It's always a bit of a nightmare, but what are you going to do? I say I don't mind my work actually. Quite enjoy my job, which is a bit odd. But anyway, I'm rambling already. Yes, so first things first, just like to thank first some of the new subs I've got. Thank you very much for checking out my channel and subbing. And secondly, to all my previous subs who wished me well on my previous video. I really do appreciate all the kind words, guys. Unfortunately I couldn't reply to the comments because I was already, when the comments went up I was kind of in transit. So but I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So what else has been happening? I've noticed Scottish referendum. Oh, that was a bit of a shock actually for me. I'm sure many of you in England also have paid attention to this. I know Shane Muso and that was a big sort of activist against independence. He was dead for it, rightly so. It was a silly fucking decision if you ask me. I think Scotland really could have led the way forward for an independent country. But what are you going to do? This isn't about politics, this channel, it's about retro games. But if you want my opinion, I am deeply upset. I voted yes, I was deeply upset. Not that I have anything against England. I have many good friends down in England. It wasn't against Scotland's great, fuck England. It was, I think the thing that really pissed me off was people said let's see what would happen if the English government give us more rules. But we all know that's going to get fucking wiped up their arse and thrown in the toilet. But we'll probably be in the same situation in a few years' time again, and then hopefully the people remember what's happened. Scottish independence is good for everyone because it will then show England what a fuck up they've made of things. Not England, but the government itself have made a fuck up of everything. And then maybe things can change. But anyway, also notice there's a wee bit of controversy, just a little bit, about quite a lot of trolling going on now on YouTube. I noticed some of the channels are getting hit hard. I noticed Shocks has actually got a bit of a stalker on his hands. I won't say too much about that. Obviously the best just to ignore stuff like that. But I've been very fortunate with me. I get a few now and again, but I've never really bothered about the dislike button. I've always kind of looked at it as, not as a negative thing, but just as, if somebody doesn't really like something on the channel, then they hit the button and that's fair enough. I mean, I've got nothing against that. I don't lose any sleep over that. But I do like the idea that Daz, not suggested, but he said he would kind of go back into the swing of things with the likes and dislikes if it wasn't anonymous, if you actually saw who disliked you. But then I suppose all that would happen is you get people making channels with no subs, no subscribers, disliking things. But that's neither here nor there. Talk to what you're here for. To talk about me. Of course, this is my channel. I like to talk about myself. So, the wedding. Some of you do know, some of you don't know. I was actually married in Italy. It was a fantastic time, beautiful place. There was 32 of us out there, friends and family, and I'd highly recommend going away to anybody that fancies getting married. It was completely stress free. Me and the missus, me and the wife now, we're just having breakfast on the day of the wedding together with the whole family, and then about 2 o'clock we decided to go get ready, and it was just a fantastic day. I'm not an emotional guy, but I almost shed a few tears that day anyway. But the only thing I'm telling you this story for is because, well, first of all, my brother, who's my best man, got me this t-shirt that he found, which I thought was quite appropriate. Unfortunately it doesn't fit me, but it's hung up in the games room now. Game over, that's exactly how I feel. But also, we were, after the wedding, it's sort of, traditional in Italy that after you get married you go for a little stroll And in Sorrento where we were, it's beautiful cobble streets and whatnot. It was really a beautiful place. Well, after we got married, me and the wife went walking through the streets about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and with the wedding party behind us, and people were like congratulating us and giving us money. Somebody actually gave me €10 and shook my hand and things like that. So that was pretty good. We'd done that for about half an hour. But while walking around, I actually spotted at the corner of my eye a GameStop, which is, if you live in America, yeah, it's GameStop. In Australia it's EB Games, and here it's Game. So here's the bag that I got. GameStop wee bag, Italian bag. I'll keep that as a wee memento. Yeah, so I wasn't really expecting much because it's a GameStop and whatnot. It's going to have modern games, but I went in and fucking hell, it was just floor to ceiling of games. I've never seen a well-stocked shop in all my days. In all my days. They had probably the biggest Wii collection I've ever seen. They had all the top titles for the Wii. They must have had 300 Wii games for sale. Not individual titles, but all the top brands. Xbox 360, PS3 and all that. PSP, they had a phenomenal selection of PSP games. Again, a couple hundred. All the RPGs, all the big titles. DS and 3DS, they had a whole cupboard full of the stuff. It was a fantastic shop if you like modern stuff. But they also had a PS2 section. So I thought I'll have a quick look. And the very first game I seen was actually a shoot 'em up. It was 12 Stag. Quite a good game for the PS2. So I thought, maybe I might find Raiden 3 here. I had a free rumbling in my gut. I thought, maybe. Then I looked at the next game and it was R-Type Final. So that just spurred me on. So I was like, oh Christ. So I went through them all, and all it was RPGs and the big games. I've never seen so many RPGs in one place. I wasn't 100% sure if they were all in Italian. Again, this may sound daft, but on the back of the boxes normally have like English, Italian, French and all that. These boxes don't have Italian writing, because I probably could have made a small fortune just by buying. There's some I didn't even recognise, but things like they had like Dark Cloud. They had like 4 copies of Dark Cloud for €2, and what was the other big ones? They had all the Final Fantasy and things, about all the obscure things, all the obscure games that Raz probably would have had a field day in the shop. But I didn't want to buy any just in case they were in Italian. They probably weren't. They probably were in English. So if you ever find yourself in Sorrento, have a look for the GameStop if you like your RPGs. But yeah, so most of the PS2 games were €5, buy one get one free. So I managed to pick up four shooters. 4 I'm really pleased with. So as I was walking through all the shelves and that, I just basically saw all the ones I've already got. There was R-Type Final, there was Savaria, there was Tato Legends, there was Samurai Aces that I just picked up before I left. There was all the games, so I thought, I'm holding up hope here. But I did get 2 I'm really happy with, and 2. First one, in fact, these are, if you're aware of PS2 shmups, there's sort of like 4 budget games that are semi-uncommon. One of them's actually rare. Not a lot of people talk about them because they're absolutely atrocious. They really are terrible games. But I'm hoping to kind of collect all the PS2 shooters, so I had to pick them up, and luckily they were there for cheap. So the first one is Search and Destroy. And the second one is Shadow of Ganymede. Is that how you say it? Ganymede? It's a fucking terrible title. But let's see if you can see that with the glare. Yeah, so these are basically budget titles. They were released by a company called Phoenix Games Group, and I think these were like $14.99 brand new, and they did not sell well at all. Another one in the group is Guerrilla Strike, I think it's called, and the fourth one, which is the rare one, is Ocean Commander. It's actually not a bad game. It's not fucking good by any standards, but it's not terrible like these 2. But yeah, these are, one of them, this one you can't even use an arcade stick with, you have to use a dual shock. But I don't know. I know I'm not a big fan of buying shit games, but I wanted to try these out. But yeah, so they were basically my free ones. But they had day 2. And my 2 free ones, which I got for €2.50, which is what, about $1.80, is one I'm really looking forward to getting, and that is Homura. Homura. This the reason I really wanted this game is, one, because it's a shooter on the PS2, but also it's my favourite shooter ever. Is a game called Vasara. It's 2 games in the series, Vasara 1 and 2, and it was only ever released in arcades, Japanese arcades as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it never got a home port, but it's a great game. I really do enjoy it because it balances shooting with sort of melee attacks. So this is probably as close as you're going to get to it on a home console, and it's really good. And I have been looking at this for about 6 months now on eBay, but it goes for about 30 quid. It doesn't pop up that often actually. But yeah, so super pleased to see that. Well, I saw that actually because the boxes they were in, I've changed these boxes out, they were in really scabby, shitty boxes with stickers all over them and that. So yeah, so I was when I saw that, my face lit up, so I thought, oh man, I might find Raiden 3, but unfortunately I didn't find Raiden 3. But the other game I found, which I'm super happy I found, because I honestly didn't think I would have this in the collection, because it obviously sells cheaper in auctions, but the buy it nows are always about £50, and it is Giga Generations. Massive fan of the first Giga Wing. Second one, I'm not so much, so I wasn't sure what this was. I thought it might have been a best of, I thought it might have been both the games together, but it's an original game. They just sort of remixed some of the levels from both games, but the problem with this is the frames per second is horrendous. It only runs at 30 frames per second as opposed to 60 frames per second, so it looks, I mean, it doesn't run in constant slowdown, but the bullets just don't seem to flow. It's like it's almost like the bullets are like a digital sort of signal. They're either on or off. There's no sort of like progression up the screen of the bullets. They just kind of come out like big 2 fucking raging cocks, and then that's it. So it's really off-putting actually, and the game sort of stutters about. I have heard that the Japanese version doesn't have this problem. Obviously, PAL, you're always going to have problems with 50 Hz and borders and whatnot. The games always tend to run slower, but I didn't think this would be quite as bad. However, I'm still enjoying it. You do get into it, and I'm so glad I got it, because as I say, I would never have paid 50 quid for it. So to get it for like 2 quid, I was overjoyed. So yeah, so I couldn't believe, as I say, I didn't realise they would buy one get one free. I thought they were €5 each. So when I went up to the counter to speak to the guy, he never spoke much English, and I didn't speak much Italian, so I was kind of giving my best. So after a few to and fro, and I realised it was buy one get one free. So yeah, so they were the 4 games I got from Italy. Super pleased I picked them up. As I say, I was very surprised to see them in a game shop, in a new game shop. So yeah, so I'm glad I fucking went in, to be honest. It was kind of, it made my week. Kind of, fuck it, married. Finding the games made my week. So yeah, so another game I picked up, I actually bought when I was I was waiting at the airport to fly home, and I went on Amazon and I saw this, and again I've been waiting for this for a while, is Tinga. Again, this is a really cracking game. This is the sequel to Samurai Aces, which then went on to the Gunbird series. I think that's right. Or maybe Gunbird started first and then, I'm not too sure. But this is also called Sengoku Ace and Sengoku Blade, I think, in Japan. Let's see, you get them twin packs and that for the Saturn and that. But a really good game. 2D champion Rob mentioned this in one of my previous videos to look out for it. I had it on a watch list. But again, I couldn't get it. They're like £25 on eBay. And although the games are good, I don't want to pay that for it. So yeah, so on the back, I've got a few videos already saved on my phone, so I'm going to be uploading them. One's an impression video of Neo XYX. I've picked up a few other games, but I really have knocked it on the head now. I've got far too many shooters. I know Daz is always talked about this. He's sort of kind of went overboard with the shooters and things like that. And it is kind of hard because, I mean, it's been almost 6 months I've kind of been on a shooter kick. And it kind of gets you a new lease of life, kind of when you, I mean, I've always enjoyed the games I've picked up and things like that. But it's like whenever you buy a new system. I remember when Tutti got his PC Engine, you could just see the excitement in his face when he was picking these games up. And that's what it's been like with me with shooters. So it is hard not to get carried away. But as everyone knows, anyone that plays shooters, I mean, Zero Gunner 2 for the Dreamcast was one of the first shooters I bought when I kind of got more serious into buying them. And I'm still playing that. I'm just trying to get better and better and better at it. So there's games I've still not touched. So yeah, so I'm pretty much set until Christmas. As I say, I've got a few videos coming up because I've been buying, like the games I've been buying I've well in the past that I've bought them. I am hopefully going to try and finish the PS2 collection before Christmas. I only have 4 to buy, the 2 cheap ones that I mentioned earlier, Raiden 3 and Dragon Blaze. Fortunately, the 2 dearest ones. I'm more than willing to pay £30 for Raiden 3. It is an expensive game, and people will think, why would you pay that for a PS2 game? But if it was on the Saturn for that price, people would be fucking snapping up everywhere. So I'm happy to pay that price for that. I don't want to pay more than 30 quid though, because I'm still a Scotsman, you get what I'm saying? So, but Dragon Blaze on the other hand, I don't really want to spend more than 15. But that's pretty uncommon, and I don't see that often. So, yeah, so I'm hopefully going to try and finish that before Christmas, because I would quite like to do, if my editing skills get any better, a video like Future Mark 5 did, because I was very, very sad to hear that Future Mark 5 is hanging up his shmupping title. Future Mark 5's been one of my favourite channels for a while. I like all the, like Vegan Harris 500 and all the folk. Really good shooting channels. And obviously he's just lost the love for it, which is fair enough. It happened to us all one day. So he's certainly been at it longer than I have anyway, and most of the people I watch. So that's fair enough. I'm fucking rambling on here. So I was pretty sad to see that. Hopefully he doesn't take down his channel, because his videos, if you haven't looked at Matt's videos, they're fantastic. They really are funny. He's a funny guy. But yeah, so he done a PS2 sort of shooter video. So I'd quite like to try and do something along those lines, but without them all. Hopefully one day. So yeah, so I'll leave it at that, guys. I probably forgot to say something. Have I? I don't care. It doesn't matter. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for all your support. And I'll catch you next time.